On this week's episode of The Geek State, let's all quit our jobs and just live at Galaxy's Edge.
It's my turn to quiz Chris on his geek expertise.
Plus, we're looking at all those amazing Vanity Fair photos. All that and more on this latest episode of The Geek State.
Now, in a kingdom very, very near.
Arthur, do hurry. The passengers are boarding.
Prepare yourselves.
Welcome aboard.
For the ultimate Disneyland thrill attraction from the imagination of Disney and George Lucas. Because now, the adventure is real.
Stand by alert.
This is it.
These are the droids you are looking for. This is the Geek State.
Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode of The Geek State. This episode is going out to everybody in the state of Rhode Island. So every episode in the future, we're going to be dedicating a show to a specific state. No, I'm kidding. This is going to be a smaller episode, but we've got a lot of stuff. I've got, I know James has a trivia competition for me, so I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, that being said, you can't do a show without James. James, it's not officially summer, but since it's past Memorial Day, it's basically summer. Are you ready for a summer season of the Geek State?
I think we're always ready for a summer season of the Geek State. As our longtime fans know, it can get a little hectic for us with work and things like that. Being your profession is very summer heavy.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine me as Santa Claus trying to put out episodes around Christmas. It's just impossible. But no, we're going into podcasting and getting stuff ready for knowing that the summer was coming. And my job, as James said, James and I met at a summer camp, and I still am in that profession. And we are kicking it up into high gear, and I've got all kinds of stuff going on. And we're going to be putting out shows throughout the summer, but we're going to be doing some different shows, some specials, some shorter bits. We'll of course be looking at stuff from E3, the movies that are coming out. We've got Comic-Con coming this summer, so we'll do some regular full-size episodes of the Geek State, but we'll also be putting out some specials throughout the summer. So be looking for those in your feed and all of that. And without further ado, we're going to get things started. I have to say, I've been trying to see all of the movies that I can until I'm not able to. And so I wanted to, sometimes people are like, hey, I saw that you went and saw this. What did you think? James, I don't know if you've been to the movies recently, but did you get a chance to see Detective Pikachu? Or
I have not. That one's going to be a family video purchase, I think. It's one of the ones I'm going to hold off on.
I think that's an okay thing. I really liked it, but I also felt that it was less detective work and more, let's go to a place and then somebody is going to just explain to you what you need to do next. Like very true to the video game, I think. Maybe not. I've never not played Detective Pikachu on the 3DS, but in like a regular Pikachu thing, a regular Pokemon game, it's like, oh, go here. Oh, hey,
yeah. Brock's Pokemon are weak to grass type Pokemons.
Go get to these guys. It was really cool though to see the first generation Pokemon in this realistic world. The world building was awesome. I think that is something that they really achieved. There's a weirdness at the end and kind of a weak the exposition and the that kind of stuff just kind of got to me. But I know I am not the target audience for Detective Pikachu, but I did enjoy it, and I think you'll enjoy it at home with less stakes, with the ability to pause it from a family video rental or Redbox or wherever it ends up. This is not really related to geek stuff, but I guess people can be music geeks. I did go see Rocket Man. They had an early preview, I guess, if you use the Fandango app. It was a couple weeks ago, and saw that. And I will say, now, James, we like to look at trailers and, do some analyzing and stuff. And I think most people going in to see Rocket Man are expecting Bohemian Rhapsody, but Elton John.
Right. I think that's a safe assumption.
That's how they're marketing this movie. I will tell you, it is not that at all. It is a straight up musical. like where a character is talking and then all of a sudden you're singing an Elton John song.
I almost like that more.
Yeah, and I did too. The thing is, I did not know this going into the movie, and I think it took me out up until there's a it opens and it feels very much like you'd expect. It's Elton. He's young, and there's all this, you're kind of learning about his home life and who his mom is, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Bryce Dallas Howard. Like, I didn't expect to see you in this playing Elton John's mother. And then all of a sudden, there's just a gigantic dance and music number where Elton is a kid and he's running outside and all the neighbors are out and they're dancing and I was like, what is this? This is not
interesting.
Yeah, because the music is it's not in chronological order, kind of like Bohemian Rhapsody. You saw the early stuff and then you kind of worked its way through their discography or whatever. But yeah, no, it's good. I would, if you have to choose,
it's almost kind of like Across the Universe type.
Yes, I would almost say that it is more in that vein, except of course in Across the Universe it's Beatles music, right? But it's not
right. It's not the Beatles. Right. And this is, and I will say Taron, the guy from Kingsman and that recently did Robin Hood, is awesome as Elton John. Like you really believe that he's Elton John until the very end when they show you pictures of like Elton John now, and you're like, whoa. Oh, it's a thick boy.
Yeah. So, but if you have to see something, and you've already seen all the other movies between Detective Pikachu and Rocket Man, I would probably say Rocket Man. I also saw Aladdin, and I didn't hate it. So, it's a, I don't know, if you're a child of the late 80s, early 90s, and you grew up on Aladdin, it's worth it to go see it in the big screen. Will Smith's not as bad as I expected. I'll just say that. It could have been much worse. That is all I really got to say about it. I'm glad I saw it in theaters, but yeah. And I gotta say, I'm not sure I'm going to get to see X-Men when it comes out either. That might actually be a video release for me because I don't get much time off. Don't worry,
there will be a James soapbox on that one. For sure. A vignette.
There's going to be a whole thing. So be prepared for that. But a lot of big stuff going on in the world of geek this week. So let's dive right in headlines. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is now officially open in Disneyland in California. I stayed up late the other night because they had a big grand, like basically a ribbon cutting, a dedication, as it were, in front of the Millennium Falcon yesterday, day of recording, was the big media event. So like everybody got to go, including some podcasting friends of mine. I mean, we were invited, James, but
yeah, we just couldn't make it. Busy season. It's busy season.
I know. I mean, we keep having to turn down these invitations left and right, and but good for them. It was really fun too to be following along once the media embargo lifted late yesterday. I've seen a number of these Disney dedications, and they borderline on cringe with the Disney hosts and the people who are kind of doing this whole thing, and this had that same vibe because it's Disney and stuff, and it's very sugar and
right.
Just really over the top excitement for stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. I'm excited too. So Bob Iger, CEO, gets up there and, does his thing and talks about it, and he starts talking, and I'm getting this kind of weird, like the Force. I don't know if you caught any of this or saw any.
So I watched kind of like a highlight reel of it that was maybe like 3 to 5 minutes long, something like that. So
that was all the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like it wasn't a press conference that I really needed to sit through.
No,
the fireworks display at the end was pretty sweet.
It was awesome. I mean, and so Bob is up there and he's talking about like, Walt Disney and imagination and innovation and great minds and stuff. And he starts talking about George Lucas, and he's saying, we've worked with George, on a number of projects, obviously the original Star Tours, the new Star Tours. He was involved with like Captain EO, and they've got, Indiana Jones is at the parks and stuff. And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, there's no way George is here. Like, like George has gone on record, like with on like 2020 or something, some interview where he called Disney, really bad names.
Right.
And so, and then he's like, and welcome George Lucas. And he comes up and he's going to, Bob is in like a suit. It was almost like a velvet jacket. It was a weird thing, but whatever, fashion. George comes up looking typical George. He's like in, his Nike, his white Nikes and blue jeans and a flannel. He just comes up and is like, yeah, it's really good. It's amazing. And, y'all really, it's like Star Tours times 1,000,
Yeah, right.
So the energy was super high, and I was like, all right, this is cool. And then it's like, bring out Billy D. And so Billy D comes up on stage, and his daughter helped him up on stage. He had his cane with him, and gets up there and says his typical things. Billy has like a routine, like he has like a certain number of quotables. So he repeated something he said back at Celebration about, how was it coming back into the role of Lando? And he was like, Lando never left, and I was like, okay, cool. Billy D's here. And then Mark Hamill shows up, does his thing, and they play this whole little like vignette out. Did you see like this is probably something that was on the highlight reel where he's like, hey Chewie, let's kick this thing off or whatever, and Chewie's in the cockpit of the Falcon, and it starts doing, going haywire, and the alarms are going off.
Right.
And then Bob is like, I wish we had somebody that could fix the Falcon. It's just like, boy.
That was cheese.
And then I was like, holy crap, here comes Harrison Ford. And he comes up there, and again, I'm watching this, I'm excited for Galaxy's Edge because I want to go so bad. But I'm like, oh my God, just like, can this be done? Can this be
Harrison
over?
Ford was like, I thought we were filming the next Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Exactly. Y'all broke my leg making this last movie. You owe me. Anyways, so but then all of a sudden, like, Harrison goes off script because the lighting and the pyrotechnics got cued too early. He looks straight at the camera and he was like, Peter, this one's for you. And he taps on the Millennium Falcon, and then all the lights come on and fireworks go off, and it's just like all this emotion. It's just like, the loss of Peter Mayhew and knowing that Harrison and their relationship was really good. It was just like, it was so cool. And then of course, James, there's some incredible walkthrough videos of Galaxy's Edge that have shown up since this morning. And I know with the day job and stuff, it's hard to kind of catch up on all that stuff, but dude,
haven't seen those. I've definitely seen a lot of the pictures from inside the Millennium Falcon, like outside of obviously the press photos, but there's been some pretty cool, it looks pretty neat.
Dude,
I still don't want one of those plastic lightsabers that's giant.
No, okay, so I've heard some reports they're not plastic.
Or I didn't mean. Okay, well, they're still like twice the width that they should be.
They are super girthy. They are some girthy
thick
favors.
boys.
They don't mess around. Like I love the idea that and apparently so that it's like Savvy's creation. It's at her lightsaber shop in the park, and you go in there, and there's for every instructor there's like 6 stations.
Right.
And so this is like a premium thing. I guess this would be at Magic Kingdom for like little kids, like the Bibbidi Boppity Boutique thing, like where they turn little girls into princesses and boys can become pirates and whatever. This is like you set a time, you show up, you do the thing, I guess. I kind of want to do it. I know that it's kind of a big fat boy saber, but maybe by the time I eventually go, like, it'll be like Fat Boy Saber number 2, the slimmening,
Fat Boy Saber 2.0.
It's Fat Boy Slim, it just becomes like a little bit.
See what you did there.
No, it was low hanging fruit.
Your brother.
There.
Check it out now.
So that looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to, so it's just now open, and I'm, not able to really get a gauge on, normal experiences, because everybody that's gone so far have been like media and celebrities. And I've seen some video. There's a great one that they put out that is coming from official Disney parks. And it's they invited these like super fan Star Wars, like super Star Wars fans to be the very first people, besides of course like media insiders and Disney cast and all that, to actually step into the park, and it's just them, like nobody else is around, and to just like watch them move through the land and react to the stuff. It's really cool. It's called First in the Galaxy. So if you YouTube that, you'll find it. So it's pretty cool. I know Armando, our faithful listener from the way back days, and continues to be super interacting with us on Twitter. He's going in a week. He has reservations for the next week. So I have officially dubbed him the official Star Wars Galaxy's Edge correspondent. So he's supposed to be reporting back to us. He's going to be tweeting pictures, and we'll be retweeting all that stuff over on our Twitter account, which you can find at the Geek State Pod. James, it wouldn't be the end of Star Wars coverage in this episode. Oh no.
Not if Vanity Fair has anything to say about it.
No, and they have a lot to say about it, actually. There's a ton of coverage. And James, we're going to look at some of these pictures that Annie Leibovitz, she's been doing this since the Phantom Menace days, putting out a special issue of Vanity Fair with photos that she took. And there's a couple of them that I want to kind of point out. So if you'll follow along with that handy dandy link.
I'm here for the flip book.
Yes. So we're for those who haven't seen these, and I bet you have, but to paint a picture, these were mostly, or if not all, taken in Jordan, where they were shooting. And we have some confirmation that we're not looking at Tatooine. We're not looking at Jakku. The planet that we're looking at least in some of these shots. Now, that's not to say they didn't double down and say, okay, this stuff is going to be, this planet, but we're going to go over here to these dunes and shoot some Tatooine or shoot some Jakku. I think that's confusing to have two desert planets in the same movie. That being said, we're looking at the planet Pasana. And there's a photo. It's number 10 in this 10 of 16.
I'm there.
And it's we've got some new weird looking creatures and aliens because of Star Wars, and that's what you do. The Aki is what they're called. But I want to kind of pay some attention to. I guess there's 3 photos that I want to really look at. The first one being the second picture, and this is the picture of the Knights of Ren. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And of course, we got J.J. Abrams in his hoodie. And I guess to me, it looks like, hey, guys, do this. That's not how he talks. But what's cool about this is, okay, for real, we're getting the Knights of Ren in the Rise of Skywalker. Finally. I mean, we technically got them in The Force Awakens in that little flashback thing.
Right, super briefly.
I want all of them as an action figure. Like, I need like a Knights of Ren multi-pack. Like,
they are very cool. One thing that I do notice, though, none of them have guns. This guy on the far left has like a flamethrower thing, it looks like.
Is that what you
think? But
they
all have melee weapons. To me, that's what it looks like. I don't know.
It's like a Mega Man Mega Buster.
Yeah, kind of.
Gun arm.
But for the most part, they appear to be a melee type folk.
I think that's cool.
I think it's cool too. I think it's not super smart, but in a world with lots of blasters. But I
think we're gonna at least. My prediction is I think we're gonna get at least 2 major action sequences with the Knights of Ren. I think we're gonna get a chase sequence with the Knights of Ren who are leading the First Order through the desert, because we've seen that desert chase in the trailer. That teaser, that
the Mad Max chase.
Yeah, the Fury Road, Luke Skywalker Fury Road. But also, there's a guy, and he's got like an axe, and people on Twitter have been pointing out that this same axe, or at least this same weapon, it doesn't have to be the actual physical same thing, but of the same style, is in Dryden Voss's little lounge area on his ship. That it's right above the red Mandalorian armor that he has aboard his ship. And it appears in the most recent issue of Galaxy's Edge, the Marvel comic. It's in this weapon's in Doc Ondor's antiquities shop. So I don't know what's up with this, but it's showing up. And this is the third This is the third appearance in some sort of Star Wars media.
That means only one thing. It means Darth Maul confirmed Knight of Ren.
Yes, that's what everybody was hoping for, right? He never.
Yeah, it just makes the most sense.
I mean, technically, we have seen the death of Darth Maul officially in canon. We have seen his official death.
We saw it before. We saw it before, Chris.
We saw him get chopped in half, fall down a bottomless pit. But we didn't see that. We saw no body at the end. We didn't see him breathe his last breath. That's all it takes, because we didn't see that with Palpatine.
His eyes were open as he fell. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. He saw the whole thing. Now, I want to move attention over to Kerry Russell in the next photograph. She's playing the masked scoundrel Zori Bliss, seen in the Thieves' Quarter of the snow-dusted world of Kijimi. That sounds right.
It's a made-up word, so.
Well, that's what I like about Star Wars is it doesn't matter how you pronounce it, because they have officially kind of said, like, it's like Twi'lek and Twi'lek. Those are both acceptable pronunciations of that word. Like, it's okay that you can say either or. So Kijimi.
I don't think that's okay. I don't think that is the correct pronunciation. I don't think it's not going to be a 13-syllable word there, Chris.
I know, exactly. It's
like this,
6 letters.
This one pronunciation that Chris on the Geek State podcast made also appropriate.
Kijimi. I'm going to go with that. I just want to say I'm really happy to see the Rocketeer finally getting a little bit of movie time again. He's so talented, and he hasn't done anything since that Joe Johnston movie. So, no, but I don't know what's up with her. She's wearing a mask for some reason. I don't think you put Kerry Russell behind a mask if you don't have a reason to do that. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't matter who's behind Boba Fett's mask.
Right.
Any stunt person can do that. If Batman's entire face was covered, you would never worry about casting Ben Affleck as Batman or whatever. You could put anybody. Right. You could put anybody in that mask, and it doesn't matter. Why does it have to be Kerry Russell? But it is Kerry Russell. I mean, obviously there's a connection with JJ and Felicity and and all that. Anything you notice about her blasters that she's got?
No. Are those? No. The answer's no.
I'm surprised because you made a big deal about Rey and her blaster placement. She's got them.
Oh, well, she's dual wielding, so I assume she does the cross pull.
Yes,
personally,
that's what I was kind of going for. I was kind of hoping.
Oh,
yeah. You just went as like,
yes.
Oh, of course.
Well, hers it makes sense. Rey's it doesn't when she also has a lightsaber.
That's true.
But anywho,
it's very true.
Also, I'm gonna go with Kai Jimmy as the name. Just going on the record that I can't believe that they would use 3 I's in one word and have them all pronounced the same way.
And it's the IJI with like the lowercase because
Kai Jimmy. Anyways,
what's your official again? Kai Jimmy.
Kai Jimmy. Yeah, sure.
It's like hi Jimmy.
Yeah,
that's how I'm going to have to remember this. If that's official, I'm going to have to try to. That's how I'm going to remember how to pronounce the whole thing. I don't know what she has to do with anything, and she may just be. This could be, this could be DJ. This is Laura Dern. This is, we make a big deal. We make her a cool character. This is Captain Phasma. This is Misdirection. This is Rey's mother. Who knows? This, a lot of speculation, but she looks cool. I don't know what's up with the back side of her helmet. It's kind of like long, I guess.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm not. It looks cool, but they could have cut off the xenomorph.
Yeah,
xenomorph into it.
Do something real quick. Put your hand up and cover that up, and don't tell me that's not Metroid's like a Metroid helmet. It's
very much Samus Aran.
Yeah. Like, it's got that.
I like it.
Yeah, it's cool.
I'm for it. I think it's a cool helmet.
Absolutely. And then I think, there's a lot of really great shots. Of course, there's Lando and Chewie and Poe Dameron and the Falcon. There's a great shot of Finn and Janna, played by Naomi Aki. She's brand new. They're on these horses with yak kind of faces. They're called the Orbaks, and that looks really cool. But the other picture that I kind of want to just point out, and it's just sort of a slight prediction or something. It's number 4, and it's got General Hux, Domhnall Gleeson, and Allegiant General Pride, played by Richard E. Grant. And it says, on the bridge of Kylo Ren's destroyer. I can't help but thinking, but the name General Pride is clearly a death sentence for this guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to make it out of this film.
Like, this is pride. The pride, pride comes before the fall kind of thing. I mean, his name may not even ever be said out loud. We don't know this, but it's sort of like in an episode of Clone Wars, there was a Jedi general, and he went by just Die. Like it was like General Die or whatever, and his full name was I'm a Gunna.
Oh no!
Yeah, it wasn't. That whole thing wasn't ever said.
This is General I'm a Fulla. Yeah. I'm a Fulla Pride.
Yeah. So, and he's got to look at his uniform is different. It is kind of kimono. There's something interesting about it, but I do want to. This is something that I was thinking about today, when thinking about kind of the First Order and what we'll probably learn about the First Order, and then it got me thinking, like, what is the name First Order? What does that mean? Like, the Empire makes sense, the Resistance makes sense, the First Order. What does that mean? And then I got started to think about Palpatine, and what if when he had, we know that it's canon that he had kind of these contingency plans upon his death. And I've heard the First Order is sort of like, what if the Nazis went to Argentina and were able to kind of restart things? That's the First Order. And then I thought, well, maybe the First Order is or was Palpatine's first order upon his death.
There you go. Look at that.
And that's
now we're thinking.
Yeah, I was like, that kind of makes sense to me, that we're the First Order, that this is the group that went off into the unknown regions to, probably where Palpatine was already amassing, all the other stuff, all the ship.
But he already made at least 66 other orders.
Right. He had to jump ahead. He was thinking he would be able to, he had lots of orders, but
it was like, this is my first order. Wait,
hold on.
We're saving that one.
That one's for later. That was the first one he came up with. So he just kept them in order of his own creation,
That's right.
I was just thinking that's pretty cool. We're definitely going to be, we're kind of in that zone now where we've got Lion King coming up is the next big Disney thing, but it's going to be Star Wars, especially once we get through, San Diego Comic-Con. I don't think we're going to see much at San Diego Comic-Con. I doubt we see anything. I think they're going to save everything for Disney D23, which takes place in August. And then from that point on, we're going to have so much Star Wars stuff. But James, we can't go any further without hot off the press Sonic the Hedgehog news, right?
Yeah, I mean, getting out of the way of Star Wars coming out, this movie was supposed to be coming out in November, but obviously due to an incredible amount of backlash, they went back to the drawing board. They said that they were going to do kind of a redesign on Sonic the Hedgehog, and apparently they have decided to delay the movie. It'll be a nice Valentine's Day surprise in 2020. Yep. February 14th, 2020 is the new date. I kind of feel bad for them. The problem I see is that everyone that complained about this movie is not going to go see this movie. It's not made for them, not made for me. I was not going to go see this movie. If I was going to go see it because I knew it was going to be bad. It's like, I think it's awful that I think it's a bad business decision to delay it, first of all, and spend any more money than you've already spent on it because it's going to be a disaster. Maybe, I think, but I don't think anyone's going to go, yeah, well, they redid it, so I'm going to watch it now.
Right.
It's like, it just makes no sense. Yeah, it makes no sense.
Here's the thing. They're not redoing any of Jim Carrey's stuff.
Sonic, the look of Sonic is one of the reasons this movie's going to be bad. It's not the only reason. If you watch the trailer, it wasn't even the worst part about the trailer.
No, not at all.
I mean, there's just so much bad about it. It looks like a bad movie.
We're never going to see this movie.
And you can't...
This is going to be the New Mutants. We're never going to get the New Mutants. That movie has been pushed back 4 times, and it's still being reshot. Apparently, they're saying it's coming out next spring. Like, 2020, spring of 2020.
Yeah,
this thing's never coming out.
I think this one will come out, but I just don't. I mean, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the artists that worked on this because they just took direction. I feel bad for the director because I think he's in over his head a little bit. And I don't know. It just stinks.
Yeah, no,
so,
I agree.
People worked hard on something and the internet made them change it. And it's kind of a weird situation. Though I did see a really funny tweet talking about everyone's backlash on season 8 of Game of Thrones that they should take the 8 most retweeted tweets of people talking crap about it, put them in a room, film it of them with the same budget to reshoot and same timeline to reshoot season 8 and then film it and then release that as a documentary series.
I would watch that.
I would watch every second of that. It sounds like the greatest idea ever. And I think people would understand how difficult that job is.
Absolutely. It's called, Oh Yeah?
This would be better.
Do it. I'd like to see you try, and every season it's a different something. It's like, oh yeah, let's see you do Sonic the Hedgehog. Turns out to be like sock puppets and
just it's Stick Stigley from Nick Jr. Summer. Just a popsicle stick with eyes and pipe cleaner arms.
It's going to be amazing. The show writes itself. We're clearly in the wrong profession, James. Just sit us in a room. We'll just spit out ideas. We got plenty of them. Here's another really good idea. If you like this show, if you like this podcast, you like the Geek State. Well, I'm going to tell you about a really cool app that we're just recently been added to, and people are finding us and listening to us. It's called Podcoin. And it's an app that actually pays you to listen to this podcast. In fact, it'll pay you to listen to every podcast. So for the amount of time you spend listening to an episode, you get these little pod coins. And then it's like a game. The more you listen, the more you get these coins, and you can cash them in for all kinds of stuff. You can get Amazon cards and whatnot. You can also, if you'd like, you can donate your pod coins to charity. So you can be listening to podcasts like us and feel good about listening to the show, not just for listening to it, but you know that you're helping out other people. To get it, it's really super simple. It's on iPhone and Android, so just go to your app store and get the Podcoin app. It's free, super easy to use, it's quick and easy to set up, and as a special gift, you can get 300 Podcoin just for signing up using the code GeekState. That's right. So right off the bat, and you get 100 Podcoin for just like adding your photo. So you'll get 300 Podcoin for just signing up using the code GeekState. So go out there and give Podcoin a try today.
When it comes to comic books, superhero movies, sci-fi, fantasy, but I'm going to say there's literally no bigger expert than this guy right here.
James, we are the geek experts, basically meaning that, man, when it comes to anything, whether it's tech or gadgets or comics or video games, I mean, we know everything there is to know about geek stuff. And over the past few episodes, I've been challenging James to a series of quizzes testing our ability to be geek experts. Well, I have been informed that the tables have turned, and James, you have something for me this episode.
They have indeed. And it's a little bit different than the quizzes that you've given me. Okay. They're not all. I think this it's a mixture of nerd and geek.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an event or something that happened or when something first appeared on the market, and you have to give me the year in which that happened.
Oh my gosh.
And what we'll do is we'll go through at the end, and I'll let you re-guess on the one you're the furthest off on.
Okay. I like this. Okay.
So you get a little bit of a reprieve there. Then we'll try and figure out how many years off you were, and then that'll, I guess, will be your score.
I'm down.
I don't know. Kids at homes can play too, and they can lie to us on social media about getting all of them right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Anywho.
Yeah, play along. I want to know. No, don't lie to us, but I'd love to know. Like, play along and let us know. Just send us a message over at the Geek State Pod. All right. So James, I'm ready. think I'm ready.
Here we go. For question number 1, what year did the first Star Wars branded Lego set come out?
God. I'm going to say...
Think it through. Take your time. Think it through.
I know, but I also know that it's just like you can't just throw something out. I want to say like... Oh, boy. I'm going to say 97.
97. Okay. Do that. What year did Dungeons and Dragons release?
God. 1974.
Okay. And what year did a specific episode, it's the season finale of a show that I know that you know too well, season 3, episode 13, The Weapons of War, the ultimate episode, I guess, of Sequest release?
See, that's the thing, because it didn't air... Weapons. It's...
or you can just say the last season of Sequest.
Right.
Whenever you want to do.
I'm saying 1996.
Okay. And then we have, what year did Kingdom of the Crystal Skull release? Everyone's favorite Indiana Jones movie.
That's going to be 2007.
Okay.
Oh, I bet it's 8.
Oh. And then, what year was Mark Hamill born?
Let's see. Oh my gosh. 1956.
Okay. Very interesting. And then this is a little bit of a curveball for you, but what year did the United States Civil War end?
1965. I mean, sorry, what the heck?
First answer,
1865.
Okay. All right, 1965. I got you down for that. I think we'll be revisiting. No, I'm just kidding. We'll take 1865. In this year, Eiffel 65 hit us with the banger Blue.
That's 2000.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Very interesting.
No, it's 99. It didn't really get big until 2000.
Alrighty. And then, what year did the Super Nintendo release in the United States?
1991.
Okay, very good. And what year was the moon landing?
1969.
All right, we'll accept that. And then the last question would be, what year did Ewoks Battle for Endor come out?
86.
86. Okay, so you did really, really good.
Did I?
I'm going to be very honest with you. You did really well, better than I thought you would do. Your furthest off answer would be Mark Hamill's birthday. You said it's 1956. Would you like to give it a re-guess?
Yes. Let's go with 1959.
Well, that's the wrong direction, so we will go ahead and leave you with your first.
Thank you.
So just running through. First Star Wars Lego set, you said 1997. It was 1999, I assume, with Phantom Menace.
That makes sense.
Stuff.
I was wondering if it was timed with the special editions.
Right. So you were off by 2 years there. Dungeons and Dragons release, 74 is what you said? Actual date, 1974.
Yes! That was a good guess.
Sequest final episode, 96. That was a gimme. You got Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. You said 07. It came out in 08. Yeah, you did correct yourself on that one.
It didn't,
but we final answered you. So Mark Hamill's birthday. You first said 1956. No, yes, 56. Then went with 1959. It's actually 1951.
Wow, he's older than
so
my
you were
dad.
5 years off on that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's pretty.
I was like,
old.
man, he's got to be younger than my dad. So I was just like bumping it up a few years.
What year the Civil War ended? You got that right on the head. 1865. Eiffel 65's blue. I don't know why I would have ever guessed you, but you got that right on the head with 1999.
I worked in radio then. So.
There you go. There you go. Super Nintendo release date, hit it on the head. 1991. Moon landing, hit it on the head. 1969. Ewoks Battle for Endor, off by 1 year. You said 86. It was 85. So all in all, You had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years total in all 10 questions, which is much, much better than I would have done answering the same questions.
I gotta say, I'm pretty proud.
I'm pretty impressed.
I'm pretty proud of myself. Where's my trophy? Like, I feel really good. Like, and that wasn't easy.
We'll have to get you a trophy. No, that was not easy.
Was really not.
That was not easy. I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of you, and I think the Geek State should be proud of you. And because of your expertise in this, you have just become the elected Geek State historian.
Thank you.
You will be in charge. You're
I've really wanted an officer position in the Geek State, so this is really exciting.
Congratulations.
It really is. I hope everybody had a great time with us on this episode of the Geek State. Please follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. You'll hear all about the upcoming episodes that we're going to be doing this summer. We're going to be doing some stuff on E3. We'll do some Comic-Con. We'll do some regular episodes talking about the news, the stuff that's going on in the world of geek, and we'd love for you to be a part of the conversation, joining us over on social media. So just search for us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you will find us right there. So from everyone here at the Geek State, stay excellent to each other, and we'll see you next time.
You never heard of the Millennium Falcon? It's a ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsnips.
It's parsecs.
Parsecs is funnier. Anybody knows what a parsec is? Parsnips, they're going to be like, what? Parsnips.
Have you seen Star Wars?
I've seen a good portion of one of them. With the small wizard boy in the school in the hills.
If you ever get back into radio, that should be one of your warm-up lines. It's my turn to quiz Chris on his geek expertise.
Unique, New York. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
It's my turn to quiz Chris on his geek expertise.